It's just us. You and us.
So what's going on?
We're doomed. Well then.
Summer is unofficially here. And with that, now that Memorial Day weekend is over, the once dead zone season of the small screen is ablaze with some of the most anticipated shows of the year. Almost 13 years after Deadwood the series ended on HBO, the premium cabler is bringing back the David Milch-created foul-mouthed frontier saga for a movie. Amazon has the Divine Comedy of sorts with the David Tennant and Michael Sheen-led Good Omens limited series. And Netflix is launching Ava DuVernay's harrowing limited series, When They See Us. Then there's the fifth, and it seems like maybe the final season of Idris Elba's Luther on BBC America. It's a TV treasure chest that we all can agree on, I'm sure. But which one will be the show you have to watch this week?
A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling.
GCI Luther. First victim's Paul Redford.
This isn't random, is it? It's gonna be more.
When it comes to the tormented London detective, there is no alleyway, body bag, or council estate that is off limits to the depravity that multi-Emmy nominated Idris Elba's John Luther will seek to unravel in the Neil Cross-created series. However, with all that said, with the fifth season kicking off for 4 nights on BBC America on June 2nd, even with the true return of Ruth Wilson, Luther's famed coat is starting to show some wear and tear, so to speak. And as entertaining as it is as watching the latest Sexiest Man Alive remind us how good his acting chops actually are amidst the sometimes still shocking, inducing, and stylized streets of the UK capital, and a mild reset from the all-over-the-shop mess of Season 4, this latest installment of Luther, which played earlier this year in the UK, is truly for the hardcore fans, and for those who plan to tune in with the sound off, of which I am one of the former.
Back my bid for buying Utter's property, and I will drop any counteraction against the whore.
Moving us from the center of town, away from danger.
I hate running from him, Saul.
If it ain't for hers to follow the law, why the fuck should it be for you?
My job ain't to follow the law, Em. My job is to interpret it.
You certainly can't watch May 31st Deadwood the movie with the sound off unless you want to miss some of the most crackling dialogue west of the Red River. Centered around South Dakota's statehood in 1889, this 110-minute movie, for all its legacy from the Emmy-winning series, is constructed as a thing of its own, which works in some places, not so much in others. With Milch's words, American Gods alum McShane still raises effing and blinding to a poetic art, and the evolution of Justified stars Oliphant Sheriff Seth Bullock to Family Man and more moves the story into new territory with, mild spoilers, a birth, a death, a wedding, and Gerald McRamey's villainous George Hearst now a senator and on the move to make up and reckon up some old scores. Which is a devoted fan of the series, I will say that move itself seems hellbent on doing to give Deadwood, and virtually everyone who was on the show I might add, the conclusion it lacked when HBO abruptly pulled the plug in 2006. Which is worthy, but ultimately a limited play this far away from the glory days.
Armageddon's days away, and we've lost the Antichrist.
We have to work together.
We have nothing whatsoever in common. I don't even like you.
You do.
If we don't find it, it'll be the war to end everything.
The End of Days make up the heart of Amazon's May 31st six-parter Good Omens, brought to the screen by Neil Gaiman as an Amazon and BBC adaptation of the American Gods author and the late, great Terry Pratchett's 1990 novel. Yet for all the sizzle and chemistry between Michael Sheen and David Tennant as a humankind-loving angel and demon respectively, trying to save the world, curtail the teenage antichrist, enjoy a good drink, and not get in trouble with their bosses, the overstacked story is almost sinful in its abundance of whimsy that veers close to narrative diabetes in its sugary essence when sharper satire would have clearly sufficed. So in an imperfect world, and perhaps afterlife, Luther's fifth season, Deadwood the movie, and Good Omens all have their attractions, and on almost any week, despite my critiques, would have been a winner or a strong runner-up. However, there can only be one show you have to glue yourself to the screen and watch right away this week, and that's Ava DuVernay's and Netflix When They See Us.
Who you were in the park with?
I don't know names. I just got lost.
Where did you see the lady?
One lady.
The female jogger was severely beaten and raped.
Every black male who was in the park last night is a suspect. I need all of them.
With outstanding performances from an ensemble cast that includes Niecy Nash and Michael K. Williams, the Oscar nominee directed and co-written 4-part Netflix series with top-notch work from cinematographer Bradford Young, by the way, about the travesty of justice and morality suffered in the late 1980s by the young men who became falsely tainted and stitched up for decades as the Central Park Five for the alleged brutal sexual assault on a white jogger, is a scathing indictment of institutionalized racism, the prosecution and the police, Donald Trump, and America's ongoing fundamental failure to address perhaps the greatest injustice of all: the vengeance-fueled discrimination that human beings terrorize their fellow humans with based on the color of their skin and the conviction of their own prejudice. If you can, and I know it's hard, but if you can, ignore all the white noise about Felicity Huffman playing a blinkered deputy DA while facing in real life potential prison for her role in the college admissions scandal. Suspend for a second what you do or don't know about what did or didn't happen, or that Ken Burns documentary on the same subject you might have seen, and just say their names: Kevin Richardson, Emtron McKay, Corey Wise, Yusef Salomon, and Raymond Santana, the young men at the heart of this. Then, even if you know or don't know this true story, watch when you see us, and be prepared to learn the real heartbreaking story brought alive anew in what is perhaps the best work of Duvernay's career so far. Because that saga is a story to know, and the show that you have to watch this week.